Hello and welcome to this new episode of Open Work Entrepreneur. Today we have Dr. Nicole Evans here with us, and she's got an amazing and interesting story because she's been working with her patients, usually seeing them, but now she moved her business online. So, Dr. Nicole, please introduce yourself and your business to our audience.
Hello, I am Dr. Nicole Evans, and I am originally a network spinal chiropractor, and I have transitioned over into more of the health coaching, life coaching aspect. And our biggest thing is grace, not grind, follow, don't fix. And so with this, I started just as a chiropractor, and I kept seeing patterns, and that kept showing me to not just physical patterns, but then it started to lead me to mental patterns. And I was starting to see massive results really fast, just taking the history of my patients or doing a re-exam with my patients. And we were able to have pretty big breakthroughs, not only mentally, but physically as well. And so that's why I moved to online and doing what I'm doing now.
Excellent. Yeah. So, what actually inspired you to move from being a chiropractor to becoming like a life coach and business coach, and obviously all these sort of techniques that you're using right now to work with people remotely?
Well, it's more fun. I can do it from wherever, and it's it's simple. I don't get in my own head, because with patients sometimes when they were on the table, I would get them, am I doing this right? Which that was my own thing that I had to work through. But it took me working through the mind, even with myself, to overcome some of those big physical patterns that were holding me back. And so it was more fun and it was more efficient. And for me, that's like a big deal. I'm a more fun, more efficient person. So.
Absolutely. And then obviously, we were talking before about how you were working with patients, like, or people as a chiropractor, and you were sort of working on certain things physically, and then you realized obviously there are some things mentally that are affecting these
Mhm.
results. So can you tell us a little bit more about that, what you discovered there and stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. So my chiropractic technique is already unique. It already works with some of the weird things. And so we would get those, but then we'd have another layer of weird things come into our door, like stomach cramping that they could not figure out. And network spinal, like I was all gung ho, like, yeah, this should get it. But then I recognized there was something mentally going on within her that just made her stomach cramp up, because she was really, really hard on herself. And whether that was something to do with her relationship, or she was trying to conceive, things like that. And it wasn't working for them. And I think when we were able to break through that, her stomach pains just gradually went down and down and down, and she was able to go to the bathroom better. And so that's something more along the lines of, we were working with her physically for a long time, but we couldn't get the breakthrough until we found what I call the neurological blind spot, or the mental blind spot that was hiding there, that she just couldn't see. The reason that her nervous system would defense up and cramp up is just because of a thought pattern that she had. So yeah, that's just
Yes.
one example. Yeah, but there's people that would have anxiety, and they'd be on anxiety medication or heart medication or ADHD medication. And again, I'm not saying this is treating anything, and I'm not saying that I took them off of the medication, right? Because there's my scope there that I have to honor. But we would just be going through their history a little bit deeper, and we'd find an anchor that was, and I'm saying we, like me and the patient, or me and the client, were working together, and we'd find the answer, and we would gradually work through and retrain their nervous system, give them new strategies, and they would come back and they'd be like, hey, I just got off my first ADHD medication. And then another girl, I just got off my anxiety medication. Oh, and then she just texted me like yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I just got off my other one. And my CO2 is better in my blood. And I'm just like, all these results, this is not what I'm aiming for. I'm not treating this, but you can see the direct effect massively physiologically.
Wow. And then on top of that, obviously we're talking about how this actually affects people physically or personally, but then it affects their
Yeah,
business as well. Yeah.
absolutely.
Can you
Yeah,
tell
it
us a little
affects
bit about
every
that? Yeah.
area. Yeah, it will affect every area of your life. So when I'm working with people, I'm looking at all 7 areas of their life. So we look at spiritual, mental, vocational, financial, social, familial, and physical. And we dance in between there. It's not like regimented. I look at each one of them, but you can start to see how they're entangled. So they're quantumly entangled, and they could have something in their business that sparks their defense side of their nervous system. And the reason that this is important is because the nervous system is not designed for you to be successful. It's not designed for you to thrive. It's designed for you to survive first, foremost. So our main functions are, can we find food? Can we find safety? Can we fornicate? Right? Because we need to carry on the line. And so if there's something in our perceived environment that threatens that, in quotations, because it's a perception, right? We don't deal with like real threats like we used to. Like there's not a tiger chasing after us like it used to. Now it's the perception of the reality is the threat. And so if there is a threat in your business, like say going to the next level or making a sale, that your nervous system, or you have a thought that triggers your nervous system to go into that defense, you could fight and maybe you push through it in your business and suck the energy out of you. Or you could flee and you could just not do sales anymore and your business completely falls apart. You could have a really good idea, but you can't get past that roadblock, and it's going to keep showing up. That's the thing, is it will keep showing up in different areas of your life. But business, it's just right there in your face because you have no choice but to look at it. And then you could fawn, you could become obsessed with it and develop an unhealthy relationship with your business. And then your family might take that's one of the bigger things, is your vocation oftentimes really hits your family because they're on opposite sides. And so you can see how the business will impact the family, or maybe you feel guilty for not being around your family. And so that impacts your business. So it's very neurologically based, because it impacts all areas of your life, because your nervous system is how you are expressing whatever this is. That's how it moves through us. So yeah.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, I worked with a lot of coaches in the past, still working with a lot of coaches as well. And yeah, I've seen a lot of different things that were sort of blocking them. Yeah. For example,
Yeah.
one of the things was sales, obviously, but another one was sending a message, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
creating a post or showing up or doing something that will actually help their business, but they don't do it. And then, as they don't do it, it actually affects them massively. So, like, how can this be sort of fixed?
Yeah. So every story is different. And so for some people, like I said, it might be guilt, and the guilt holds them back. So we would go directly to the guilt and we would basically neutralize it, neutralize the thought in their mind. And there's several different tools that I use in my tool belt to neutralize that guilt. But for somebody else, it could be a really, really strong expectation of the future. And so, and this is one of the first things I go through. So we talk about expectations coming from within, like expectations that we place on ourselves, expectations that we allow others to place on us, and then expectations that we place on others. And those will impact the nervous system really, really strong. Because think of, if you have an expectation of your business partner, and one, they might not even know it, but this expectation is really impacting your neurology. I just have to do it. I just have to do it. You see how that can impact their whole future, the whole future of that business. And so we would obviously go there and pinpoint that expectation and basically neurologically create new strategies for thinking about how you want that to be done.
Okay, excellent. And then on top of that, like, what's your reason why you're doing what you're doing?
Well, it started just, I've always had like a really strong purpose driven life. That's what I've noticed about myself, and I really like to learn, and I really like to better myself. So I think as I'm going along, it's really fun to pull people with me, like, hey, you don't gotta live like that. Let's go this way. But my upbringing was just bring people with you, pull, be a fisher of men, basically. And so I think that's where my drive started. And as soon as I find something, I just want to share it. And energetically, if I don't share it, it drains me. It's like a part of me. If I hold it in, I just get so tired. And so when I'm sharing it, it's just more exciting that way.
Excellent. Yeah, and then obviously, what's the transformation that people can expect once they sort of work with you?
So that's the interesting thing is, so when people come in, they have an expectation on the table. And the first thing we clear is expectations. So they come in with an expectation, and what we do is we create an aligned vision. So a future that doesn't have all the wounds from the past and all the fantasies of the future. It's a purified, audacious future. And so it's something that they can be excited about, right? Because their neurology has to be able to almost like float through it. Because if they're having to fight and be motivated to do it, then it's not sustainable. And so one of the things that they can do, and we do it easily, is create that compelling vision of their future, that exciting, audacious vision. And then it pulls them through whatever it is that, whatever all the hard stuff is that comes with life. And the other thing that they can expect is it's not so hard. It's not as hard as we make it out to be. So it's really a simple process, and it's really not painful. And I think that's the expectation that they can, not the expectation, but that's the result that they get every single time.
Wow. Okay, and if someone wants to actually connect to you, learn more about you, how they can do that?
Well, I have my Instagram, Dr. Nicole Evans. That's honestly the best way. But I have Dr. Nicole Coaching at Gmail. That's my email. But Dr. Nicole Evans is my Instagram. And that is usually how people reach out to me for the most part. And I have a really strict application process just to protect my energy. But I want to make sure you're serious about it. And so if you are, we always have a conversation, no harm, no foul. And then we go from there. And so it's just a little chat, and it's just kind of like this, like seeing, can I even help you? Do you want the help is a big thing. And so, and do you want to take the steps and invest in, whether it's time, energy, money, in the actual process of getting through this? Because some people, they do like to hold on to their story. And truthfully, that is a part of the process. If they like thinking of, this is part of me, and they might not even know it's part of them. But if we're about to completely change everything, again, that can create neurological upset as well. And so we can trigger a fight flight response just in that process alone. So because the nervous system thinks a part of them is dying. And again, that goes directly against our survival brain. So yeah.
Totally, yeah, definitely. So, thanks a lot for sharing all that, and thank you for being a guest. Thank you all for watching,
Yeah.
listening. If you liked it, drop us a like,
Yes.
subscribe, and also, if you have questions for Dr. Nicole or me, you can ask them in the comments, and we'll be more than happy to answer them. See you all in the next episode, and yeah, Dr. Nicole, thanks again. Yeah,
Thank you.
see you
Yeah.
all.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.